Maria woke earlier than usual, not because she was rested, but because the worries in her heart had become louder than her dreams. She lay quietly under the soft blanket, staring at the faint lines of dawn beginning to brighten the dark room. Life felt like a weight she carried everywhere: responsibilities at work, family problems, financial strain, and a deep loneliness she didn't know how to describe. But as she stared at the ceiling, something unexpected happened. A gentle thought floated into her mind, soft as a whisper: start counting your blessings. She frowned slightly, almost confused. Blessings. Now, when everything felt so heavy. Yet the whisper didn't fade. It lingered, warm and steady, inviting her to shift her gaze from the darkness toward something brighter. She sat up slowly and rubbed her eyes. A dull ache rested in her chest, but she took a long breath anyway and whispered, "Lord, help me see what I've been missing." Her voice trembled, but the moment the words left her lips, she felt something loosen inside her, just a little, but enough to breathe. The house was quiet as she moved toward the kitchen. The air felt cold against her skin, but when the kettle began to warm and steam curled into the air, she felt the smallest flicker of comfort. She wrapped her hands around the cup once it was ready, feeling the heat seep into her fingers. A simple blessing, she told herself. Not dramatic, not extraordinary, but real. She stepped outside, closing the door gently behind her. The morning breeze brushed across her cheeks, cool and refreshing. The sky was already shifting into pastels: pinks, golds, soft oranges melting slowly into each other. Birds sang lightly from the trees as she walked, and she found herself slowing down just to listen. "This is a blessing too," she whispered. On the bus, instead of staring blankly at the window or sinking into her worries, she looked around. An older man smiled politely at her. A mother comforted her toddler with such tenderness that it eased a strange ache inside her. Sunlight filtered through the glass, landing on her lap like a warm touch. Blessings, quiet ones, were everywhere. When she reached work, the day unfolded with its usual chaos. Someone had forgotten to finish a report. A coworker was already irritated. The phones never seemed to stop ringing. But today, Maria did something different. When she felt irritation rising, she stepped aside quietly, placed her hand over her heart, and breathed, "Thank you for strength to handle this." And just like that, she found calm in a place that normally exhausted her. During lunch, she didn't scroll through her phone. She didn't worry about the afternoon. She simply sat in the courtyard, letting sunlight warm her face. She looked at the food she had packed and whispered, "Thank you." Not because the day was perfect, but because she could suddenly see the small blessings hidden inside it. Later in the afternoon, her phone rang. It was her mother. They hadn't spoken properly in a while. But today, their conversation was effortless, filled with warmth, laughter, and little memories that reminded Maria of home. When the call ended, she sat still, smiling. She didn't need a big miracle. Sometimes healing began with moments like these. As the day ended, Maria chose to walk home. The sky had turned fiery orange, fading slowly into soft purple. She watched children playing in a park, couples walking hand in hand, dogs running happily across the grass. Ordinary scenes she had seen 1,000 times, but today they felt different. They felt like gifts she had overlooked for too long. By the time she reached her apartment, her heart felt lighter than it had that morning. Not because her life had suddenly changed, but because she had. She stepped inside, closed the door, and let out a long breath filled with gratitude she didn't know she had in her. She sat by the window in the quiet evening, watching the city lights flicker awake. She spoke softly into the stillness. "Lord, you gave me blessings all day. I just never saw them before. Thank you for opening my eyes." Her chest felt warm, peace settling into her like a gentle tide returning to shore. She understood something now. Gratitude doesn't erase problems, but it brings light into places where darkness used to live. She lay down to sleep, her thoughts calm for the first time in weeks. She knew tomorrow might still bring challenges, but it would also bring blessings, and now she knew how to look for them. Her last whisper before sleep was simple, honest, and full of newfound faith. "Thank you, Lord, for today."